Coming up on today's show, will Superman soar to another sequel? What's next for DC Studios and James Gunn? Is Marvel up to the task? These headlines and more coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome, folks, to Coming Attractions, the weekly Morgue show where we will dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment news. As always, I am your host, Arturo Padilla, and with me on this awesome journey is Mr. Nick Valdez. Tex, how are you, buddy?
Oh man, howdy everybody, howdy Arturo. We've got a busy week, so we are just cataloging everything from the past week that we're catching up on that you might not have heard at home. And so, buddies, let's get down to it. So, yes, the first on our list today is Jurassic World Rebirth, has officially earned 500 million at the box office through
Wow.
July so far. It's probably going to end the month as like the biggest movie of the month, which is surprising considering what we're going to talk about today. But
Yeah.
we reviewed it here at the morgue, and honestly, dude, I think we liked it more so than many people did. I don't know what the
Y-
problem was, but
uh,
like,
You know what though?
you know,
But is that the case with $500 million, almost half a billion worldwide? Did people really not like it? You know what I mean? Like
dude,
because
yeah,
this kind of money just doesn't drop, on the
yeah,
laps of the studio execs. These people, the audiences are gonna want to have to go and maybe go back again to reach those kinds of numbers. We've only really seen those numbers with like huge tentpole movies like Marvel stuff. We saw it last year with Dune, but it's these amazing, incredible, epic like movies. And here we have Jurassic World Rebirth, right? At
right.
almost $1 billion, man. Wild.
Yeah, it is wild because it got it got kind of review bombed
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes. I would say like I don't know if people are being fair or if like they were watching the same movie, but like after seven of them, I get it, right? If you're like cynical and if you're tired of it and everything, and you're like, oh, well, I hated that, but honestly, it's a fun movie, and clearly, like you said, people are going
Mhm.
people want to go to the movies, right?
Yes.
This is a conversation that's been had many times before where, just the movies aren't making money in theaters anymore and theaters are getting desperate. This is why they started doing like popcorn buckets and all sorts of things to try and get people in the door, cheaper tickets. Like, yes, like those are good things. But honestly, at the end of the day, people just want to watch a good movie at the theater.
Yep.
And honestly, a good dinosaur movie, like you really can't beat that. It's what we said during the review, and clearly that's what people respond to. They
Yes.
respond to summer blockbusters, and here we have the numbers to show for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, um, with all that said, um, we have, you know, we're definitely going to get a sequel here.
Yeah,
We mentioned it in the review. Go check that review out, folks, wherever you get your podcast, and go on YouTube as well. Check that review out. Um, we said in the review, like the movie, it's a great family movie. They figured out what to do with the story. They figured out with the
yeah,
dinosaurs, but it took them forever to figure out that story to tell us. You know what I mean? What
yeah.
like this doesn't bode well in terms of franchise, right? Like every time Jurassic Park sets out to make a sequel off its original trilogy
Right,
staple, it kind of
right,
falls apart. You know what I mean?
right.
So it happened with Lost World, right? It happened with Fallen Kingdom, right? I'm a little concerned because after
Yeah.
what we saw, I don't know what else they're gonna come up with besides another, oh, let's go to this island and find some crazy mutant dinosaurs for something, you know?
Yeah, like it really is going to be the case where, we're not going to get a good one again until like Jurassic World 14, whatever that looks like. Jurassic Park 14 of like, oh, the seventh movie again
Yeah,
after
it's like
this
every
one.
3 movies we get a good one, right?
Yeah, or no, three is undercutting it. Like
No,
it
every 4,
literally, it's
right?
every seven movies we
No,
get a
that's
good
true
one.
because Jurassic World, Dominion, and Fallen Kingdom, those were not good, dude.
Yeah, those are it's all buns. Like
Yeah,
every movie is buns, but between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World
right.
Rebirth. So
Movies
it's literally
every
every
6 months we're
7.
gonna
So like I are we gonna wait another 7 movies? Yeah, I guess so if we like survive that long, but at the same time, like they're gonna keep making the money. People
I
love.
mean, yeah, dude, one, they're gonna keep making it, right? It made $500 million. Scarlett
Right.
Johansson became one of like the highest paid actors in Hollywood because of this movie, surpassing her colleagues in Marvel and stuff, which is
Wait,
pretty
yeah, I was
awesome.
gonna say, I was like, because of this movie,
Yes,
that is
because of
wild. Yeah,
Jurassic World.
'cause she's
She
been
is
in
now,
like
yeah,
yeah, she's like Zoe Saldana, and like Zoe Saldana has been in like all the blockbusters that have made
uh-huh,
like tons of money. Like
yep.
basically like the top 10 of the box office. She's in like 5 of them, right? And Scarlett Johansson is basically on that level too of like, yeah, every big movie she's been in. So I'm surprised this is the one that pushed her over. That really is like an interesting stat to take away from
I
all
mean,
this. But
$500 million will definitely do that, right?
yeah, I guess we'll see what comes out of Rebirth 2. I don't know what they're gonna call it, but like maybe they'll call it like mutants or something. They really should just lean into that of just like dino mutants. But
I'm down.
let's let's move on from mutants to another fantastical world with Superman. Speaking of
Woo!
box office numbers, Superman's doing well. Like it's not doing like 500 mil
It's
so
not,
far.
yeah, yeah, it's not
And
amazing, but it is
yeah,
over 115 million, about 120. That's what they're tracking
yes.
for the first weekend, which is I think Gunn's highest grossing film to date,
Yeah,
right? And it,
which made a lot of
yeah,
sense. It's
yeah,
Superman. It's the same thing with Jurassic World. People love Superman. He's kind of like the comic book hero, and it's like the one that you don't really have to explain. Like you can
mhm,
check out a review for like whether or not that works out or not, but basically what this is saying here is it's good enough for Warner Brothers and it's good enough for David Zaslav,
yes,
who outright has shared a statement basically endorsing Superman, endorsing James Gunn and Peter Safran, and basically say, okay, we're fully committed to DC Studios, which is the biggest question we had going into Superman overall was that, it had to do well because
mhm,
it had to start this universe. Because we all know at by this point, David Zaslav is someone who's willing to just cut the cord. Like
big time,
he already threw out an entire DC universe that
yeah.
just didn't work, right?
Deleted
And
from
he's still
like from the records, legit.
yes, he's straight up deleted movies that were completed and just erased them from history or whatever, like from their hard drives, just to save a few bucks. So,
Mhm,
like, the fact that he's out here basically endorsing Superman and endorsing the fact that James Gunn has this wild vision of like new movies, Clayface movie, Green Lantern show, a Supergirl movie, basically every like it definitely sounded like okay, we're going to really give you carte blanche. We're going to give you the money to do it because we know you're a return on investment. And that's kind of the big deal for this, right? Where it's
yeah.
like, yo, like Gunn succeeded. He really succeeded what he was setting out to do. He really did it. Like for as much as we have our issues with the way he writes and the way he does things, like we got to give him credit where it's due, right?
Absolutely, Tex. I was fortunate enough to watch Superman again, and it's everything we really wanted from a comic book superhero movie here in cinemas. And we've said it before. I wasn't a big fan of James Gunn. I liked what he did with the Guardians franchise. I really liked Guardians One. The sequels, not so much. But he hit it, man. He hit it 100%.
Yeah,
And it started with his stint in Suicide Squad, which I thought was a really well done movie, especially for Gunn to get introduced to the audience in the DC world, right? I
right.
thought he picked a yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's a
picked
good
a really
movie.
good movie for that.
Yeah,
And now we see what he can really do here, right? As the writer and director of Superman, he really figured out how to big bang this whole DC universe, right? And
yeah, like
yeah,
yes, like Superman itself, it's loaded with a lot, but when you understand that he had to do a lot, that's the thing. He had to set up a universe, and now we've got it. Now we're gonna get to see it. we're past the horizon point now. We're past that point of no return where it's like, okay, we got to see what he's got cooking up next. We got to see if the creators he's trusting can pull it off. You know, because he directed this one, but who knows when he's going to write and direct another one,
That's
right?
a
Like
great point.
he's overseeing like Peacemaker, like, but these are his passion projects. What about all the other ones that are like, yeah, he wants to see get made, but isn't the one making them, right? So
Yeah.
like we got to see all this, how all of this shakes out. But I'm excited to see where it goes. Superman was that good. Like
Yes.
Superman was
Yes, it
that
was.
good enough to where I'm like, okay, like I can see your vision,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to see where it goes.
Yeah, and he's also providing us what with 2 movies a year plus an animated show and a TV show or
Yeah,
something along those lines. So,
yeah,
I do like the fact that they're keeping it um kind of small in terms of what they're pushing out there. They're not trying to saturate the market with DC properties right away, because it doesn't work out that well, right? Especially
no,
the way he pushed everything out, you could make the mistake of having a show for Mr. Terrific, a show for Metamorpho, a show for the Justice Gang, a show for
yeah,
this, a show for
yeah.
that. And we have to make sure that we kind of stay contained, right?
Yeah,
And reel it in and make sure we stay focused here, right?
yeah, and that's the thing. You got to make sure it's what people want on top of that too. Like Mr. Terrific, I'll take a Mr. Terrific show. And it's but I wouldn't have known that until Superman. Right? If this was something he was like, oh, well, we're doing the Terrifics, which is Mr. Terrific's team.
Yeah.
I think like Metamorphos on it, a bunch of wild characters,
Mhm.
and like, yeah, like that would have been like if he announced this beforehand, we would have been like, oh, come on, man, like what was that one team that's like the boys that
Oh, the
you
authority.
yes,
Yes.
right?
Oh my God, that's right. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like, didn't he say he wanted to introduce the authority and like in this whole thing? Dude, I am so glad that that didn't happen because the
Yeah,
vibe that the authority brings to any kind of world is completely different than what we got here. So dude, I totally forgot that that was his initial plan was to bring the authority into it.
right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this is what I mean, where it's like we got to make sure people want them, and I like the direction this is going. Like this is it's interesting. It's all on the back of Superman, which is kind of ideal, right? Where it's like, yo, you lead you with your biggest character, and then from there be like, okay, here's everyone else bit by bit. We'll get a new Batman, we'll get a new Wonder Woman. I'm still a little conflicted about the Batman situation, but
Yeah, me
we're gonna
too.
get him. That's a talk for another day. We're definitely gonna have a longer conversation about that. But for now, Arturo, let's move on to the TV side of things for a little bit.
Let's do it.
We got the trailer for Twisted Metal Season 2, which is coming
Yeah.
to Peacock on July 31st. So it's actually coming very soon from the time of this recording. And I'm into it, man. Please go I go check out the Morgue archives for our Twisted Metal review of season 1, Arturo. Like
Mhm.
we loved it, right? Like
Yeah, we loved it. I loved the fact that they left us with this huge cliffhanger at the end of season 1 where they introduced Nev Campbell as this big boss, and he has to work for her and all that stuff. So I am very excited about this new season. They are bringing back pretty much the entire cast, which is very smart to do because it all worked very well. It clicked. Like,
yeah.
who would have thought this would have been good, right? Like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
like
Like,
I
it's wild that a Twisted Metal show actually got made and it was actually watchable, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't even Twisted Metal yet. Like that's the funny thing is that like season 1 was just like the world of the
Yes.
game,
Mhm.
and season 2 is the actual Twisted Metal tournament with like Calypso in charge and all that stuff. And so that's kind of what we get in the trailer. Calypso is being like, yeah, if you win this, you get a wish. And we see all the wacky characters from the game, even Axel. Like,
Yes.
I can't wait to see how they pull that off with the
Me
dude with
too.
just in two giant tires. Like, yo, like yeah, right? Like I'm excited, man. Twisted Metal, like I would love a new game. I think it's been like forever since they made an actual Twisted Metal game.
Now is the
And
perfect time to create a new one, man. That interest is back up again, and now like as you said, we haven't gotten one in a hot minute, man. And now is the
Yeah,
time to get that out there, especially with all these young kids now, like gaming and Robloxing and all that stuff. Now's the time to throw that back into the ether and get these kids on Twisted Metal. You know what I mean?
right.
It's the perfect time to do it. I think sooner or later Sony will pull the trigger on that, depending on what happens with the season, right? If the season is successful, I'm pretty sure that they'll be like, oh, you know what, people are interested in this. Maybe we should go ahead and go and make that video game we've been talking about, you know. But again, kudos to Peacock as well for
Yeah,
providing like original content. You know, yes, it's an IP, it is a property, but like it's a well done TV show that
it
like
really is.
you couldn't find this anywhere else, dude. Like Amazon right now is a little bit on the back burner because they released Invincible and that was awesome, but now they're just waiting to release Gen V and The Boys next year, so they're on like a standstill when it comes to their TV. So Peacock is coming in right rolling hot at the end of this month with Twisted Metal. And is it all dropping at the same time, Tex, or is it episodic?
I I think it's all at the same time. I don't know. Honestly,
Even
that's a
better.
good question
You know
because
what though?
I
Even
don't
better.
remember how season one did it. I don't
Yeah.
was season one weekly?
I don't remember. I think we binged the hell of that thing,
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah.
I think even if it were weekly, we didn't see it until it was done, basically, and we watched it
Yes.
all at once.
Yes.
So I guess we'll figure it out again. If it's weekly, we'll talk about here coming attractions.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll wait and do like a full Morgue review. I guess we'll wait to see how it works out. It's the same for Wednesday. Wednesday's
Yes.
coming back for season two. It's coming back to Netflix in August. I want to say August 5th. But either way, it's going to be part one, and then
Yes.
part two comes in later in the year. So
It's not even later in the year, isn't it, like, in September or something?
yeah, it's legit just like a month,
Like, what
right?
are we doing here? Again, folks, we definitely had this conversation at
Yes,
length
yes.
in one of our previous episodes where it's like, what are we doing here, streaming giants? Like, why are you like, I would understand you release one in August and you release one in November or something. You know what I mean? Like r- right at the end of the fall season. You know what I mean? Right at the end of the of the fall season instead of having to just drop them all in the summertime. So then why not just give us all the freaking episodes at once? I don't it just boggles my mind, folks, why streamers do this.
Yeah.
Man, in terms of the show, it's fun. I know my kids enjoyed it. I feel like they waited a little bit too long after season 1 to put this one out there. I lost
Yeah,
interest, honestly.
I
Um,
mean, look at Pugsley.
yeah,
Pugsley's like a grown man
he's a
now, right?
full-grown man, bro. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
and
we're gonna confuse him
I
for Gomez soon enough, dude.
yeah, I think that's my issue with this too, unfortunately. Like, for as much as I'm like, yeah, Wednesday season two, I'm also like, oh, maybe they're pushing it. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like maybe season one was like just solid enough to like keep you in it, right?
yeah,
Like we liked it. Jenna Ortega was good, all that. This was back when Jenna Ortega was like at her peak too, so where she was like popping up and everything. And now we're post that. We're post that little parabola. And now it's just like, well, she's good and she is a very strong presence to draw you in. But at the
yes.
same time, it's like, yeah, well, we did have a whole season of this already. And now we're getting a first half of a season two, basically. And it's like, oh, we're going into
Yikes.
Squid Game season three again, where it's like, oh, okay, well, we're getting the first half and then the second half finished later. I don't know how I'm
Yeah.
feeling about it. I don't know how you're feeling about Arturo, but
I'm iffy, man. Like I said earlier, I'm a little iffy.
yeah,
I've lost interest in Wednesday after, the season again, season 1 was good. I enjoyed it with my family. And we wanted season 2, but it's like, can we have that sooner? But we had to
yeah.
wait. And they Stranger Thing this thing where all the characters pretty much went off and did their own movies and stuff. I know a couple of the young characters, including Jenna Ortega, were, out and about doing movies. I know her roommate was in the Minecraft movie, right? Making tons of bucks, right?
Right, that was her.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
her.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that was
god.
her. So
Yeah.
good for her,
I
making
I
tons of
mean,
cash there,
hey,
man. That's
good
what's up,
good for
you know?
her.
So like, they went off and they did their thing, but that's also to the detriment of the TV show,
Yeah.
When back in the day we were spoiled because when we got TV shows, we got TV show actors, right? These actors didn't pop up in movies, and if they did, it was like a cool side like role where we're like, oh look, it's this
Yeah,
guy from the show or
that's
whatever, you know?
I think you're right? Because it's like we'd get a character actor on TV, and then the goal for them eventually was to make the jump to movies, right? Like
Yes.
a lot of the times, and we've seen this, like your Chris Pratt's, your who went from Parks and Recreation to becoming like a big movie star. We've gotten, oh man, dudes like honestly, hang on, I'm blanking. Oh wait, yeah, here we go. Dudes even like Pedro Pascal, who
Yes.
is the biggest franchise star ever, started in Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones. He
Prince
started in
Oberyn, dude.
Buffy.
That's
Like
right.
he was like in Buffy and Law and Order. He was doing TV.
Yes, he
He got Game of
was.
Thrones, a premium show, and then from there was like little bits of TV shows, and then now all of a sudden he's in like the basically when you look at Disney, he's in every one of their big
He
tentpole
teared up,
franchises.
bro. He legit
Yeah,
like had to work, the fields and gain the experience by killing Pidgeys, and Pidgey
yeah.
hounds every day,
Right, he was leveling up, yeah.
and he
He was
finally
doing the
leveled up, man. He finally
yeah,
leveled up where
and
he's legit a
yeah,
household name, man.
you're so right, because like, that's the way it used to be, right? They used to
Yes.
do TV, and they
Yes.
would hone their craft through
Mhm.
TV, and it'd be like, "Okay." But then that was also at the time where TV was so sustainable, right? Like, if a show got picked up on a network, that was a guaranteed, like, 22 weeks of work that you'd
Yes.
have, right? And you'd be like, "Yeah, okay, 22 episodes," and then they would syndicate through the summer, so people would see, like, you would get your residuals
Mhm.
throughout the summer, and you'd be like, come back for the next season, and you'd be good. A lot of times that's what it was. TV actors would just be able to do TV. You do a couple of shows, you're set for life. You do a couple of
Absolutely.
commercials, you're good. Like, you used to be able just to do commercials and
Yeah.
live off of that.
Commercial
But
actors, TV actors, like movie actors, like they were all
yes,
different. Now the movie actors are going into TV because they know that's where the actual constant money flow comes from.
yes,
They
yes.
they learn they're like, oh, wait a minute, I can actually lend my star name to this show. People will watch it because I'm in it, and I'll get like 10 paychecks or something in a row or whatever it is the pays the pay rate is over there. But
Yeah,
like
like,
now all
yes.
those stars are just jumping in and out, man. We even see some stars in commercials now. So like
Yes. Oh my
no
god,
one
great
is
point.
holding back their portfolio now. They're not being bougie anymore. But this is what Hollywood is now.
Yeah.
And as we see Jenna Ortega right here, like on our screen, she is one who started out in freaking in the House of Mouse, right? She started as a Disney star,
Yeah, she yes.
grew up.
Yeah.
She got a couple of small movie roles. We got to know her well in Babysitter 2, right? Killer Queen, where we're like, who's this actress? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we kept seeing her and kept seeing her. And, she's a full blown star now. But even stars have to go back to the small screen sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I guess this is all to say, this is the problem with Wednesday season 2, where like Wednesday season 1, we were like, yeah, that was good, but also we like I don't think either of us were clamoring immediately for a second season. And then on top of that, the wait was just so long for these new episodes that now like I think we're both like, okay, we'll check it out. We might cover it for the morgue. We might do some like updates for coming attractions here. That's another one where I guess we'll just kind of have to see,
We'll wait and
right? We're
see how
gonna
good it really is. And if it's worth a full conversation, we will have that conversation, right, Tex?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So let's start the wrap up train here with coming attractions. Here we'll Now we're moving on to the movies. Speaking of going from TV to movies, right?
Mhm.
We got the trailer for The Running Man, which is like totally different from
Yes,
like
it
where
is.
you would expect, right? I okay, so I've never read the original Stephen King story. Have you, Arturo?
No, I have not. I have
Yeah,
not.
so
I am interested now that, we see these trailer.
yeah,
So
so like if you would have told me this was like more faithful to it, I would believe you, whether or not you were correct about that, right? So like, Glenn Powell starring in an Edgar Wright directed movie, which is immediately like, oh, cool.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a cool team, right? Edgar Wright, we last saw him for Last Night in Soho,
Oh,
which
super
you
good
know,
movie, man. Really
which
underrated.
is
If you guys haven't
dude,
seen that, go watch it. Really good movie.
Yeah, it's extremely underrated.
Yeah.
I think, like, most people don't like that one, which is another one where I'm like, "Yo, did we watch the same movie?" I don't like,
I
loved it, but
I loved it, man. What a great
yeah,
story we got in that movie. But this is not here or there for this one. But I am happy that Edgar Wright is back in cinemas here. I remember he was back in the day. His name was hung there for Ant-Man,
yes,
and then creative issues kind of split that up, and probably for the better for Edgar Wright's career. And I'm kind of excited to see what he does with this one. This doesn't seem like his usual wheelhouse. It's a very
right,
action orientated movie. Pretty much the whole gist of it is um, uh, Glenn Powell's character. Um, uh, he is pretty much he volunteers for this game show, right? And the whole game show premise is to pretty much hunt down the contestant. So it
yeah,
becomes like a John Wick scenario where everyone's seeing his face everywhere, and oh, capture him, hunt him down. So it's different, man. I don't know how to feel 100% yet about
yeah,
this movie
yeah,
because I
because
am a big fan of the Arnold
man,
Schwarzenegger 80s one,
that's
with all those
exactly what I was
quirky
gonna
characters. And
yeah,
I'm
like,
like,
yeah,
I
because that
where's my dynamo, bro?
yeah, that OG movie was basically American Gladiators,
Yes.
but horror. Like, it turned up the science fiction, turned up the dystopian aspects to it to make it just a death game. A dude was surviving a deadly game show and eventually like got to the point where he stuck it to the people running it, right? Like
Yep.
it that was the whole thing. He fought his way through through Dynamo. Like he fought his way through these wild characters to get to
Mhm.
the end and just be like, yo, I'm done with all of this. And
Well, yeah, because remember
I
also, he was framed. So his character
yeah,
was framed. Bill the Butcher, they called him. They said he killed a bunch of people. It wasn't true. The whole thing was doctored up. So he was in jail, prison break, all this happened, but they recaptured him. And the way they solved their fugitives back in, not back in the day, but in that time, in that universe was to put him in this game show.
yeah,
But now we have this Running Man text. And it's very different from one
yeah.
that
It's
we
just
know and love. So
yeah. A guy has to survive for a month and
yeah,
there are killers coming after him. I don't know if it's like assassins or if it's regular people because I have seen that. Funny enough, there's a movie on Prime called Jackpot, which is kind of the exact same thing. It's got Aquafina and John Cena. It's more of a comedy, but she wins the lottery in the future, right? This is like this dystopian future, and if she survives for 30 days she gets the jackpot, but if somebody kills her they win the money for themselves. So it's like, oh, but there is an interesting rule in that where it's like they couldn't use guns. It was only like blades and hand weapons and stuff like that. So like, but this one here, it's like, of course, gun action, all this stuff. I don't know, like I guess it's really going to emphasize the running part of it, because if he's running straight up through like this whole thing, it's probably going to be like a very fast-paced movie with like a few times where he gets to relax. But like, I'm curious. It has me in the fact that it's so different from the one we know,
yeah,
right? That like, but
yes,
at the same time, it's so different from what we know,
yes. It
right? Like
also it does have the benefit of Glenn Powell. We are huge fans of Glenn Powell here on the
oh
Morgue.
yeah, yo,
So that is also
Tom
another
Cruise
plus, right?
protege, yeah,
And speaking of
Tom
Tom
Cruise
Cruise
protege,
protege, what does
yeah,
Tom Cruise do a lot of? Running, right? So
yes,
hopefully we get to see how fast Glenn Powell can run in the Running Man coming out on November 7th, folks. Stay tuned for that one. We will definitely have a bit more conversation of that when we get a different trailer showing a little bit more stuff.
oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah. But folks, to wrap up this coming attraction show, we got the final trailer for the Fantastic Four.
yeah,
um,
Fantastic Four First Steps. It was like, you know, it's a trailer that like mixes in some footage we've seen already, but like
mhm,
kind of does the whole 60s vibe with it more.
yeah,
And honestly, I don't know, maybe they should have let off with it. Like it's kind of like, oh, like this is like, oh, it's setting up like oh, this is fun. I'm like, yo, okay. Like I
yeah,
I think it's finally clicking for me.
yeah.
Like it was
I
it was
agree.
already doing that before, but how are you feeling,
I
Arturo?
agree. I thought this was a very, very effective character trailer. And I think it showed us everything we need to know before we go see this thing in a couple of weeks in theaters. Um, I am a little curious as to how everything is gonna turn out. Um,
Right.
if you guys have seen Thunderbolts, you guys know the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts. If you have not, just go check out our review of Thunderbolts. We talk about it there. But I am curious to see what happens here, right? Because like we obviously know where they end up, right? So we know what
Yes.
that could mean. So I am very
Yes.
curious to see how this all unfolds. I am getting the vibes of that origin stuff going. I do like the fact that whatever happened at the end of Thunderbolts happened, right? Because then
Right.
we're like, whoa, what's gonna happen in this one? And
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
soon find out, Tex. There's a lot of action. These people go face to face with Galactus and Silver Surfer in this movie, and we don't know if they come out safe at the other end, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's got Pedro Pascal in it, who he just talked about at length with like making the jump from TV to movies and still doing TV. Like I think he still does like TV stuff or arcade. Well, technically, right? Like the Disney Mandalorian stuff
Yeah.
and all that. So I
Doesn't he
think
have a
he but
Mandalorian movie coming out or something,
oh,
right?
you know what? That might be what it is then. Instead of TV, I think he's like, okay, it's
He's
another movie I can
he's
fit into
doing
my
the Star Wars
schedule.
movie. Yeah.
Yes, like, and that's the thing. Like, he's so in demand now that it's like, okay, Marvel can't mess this one up. This is kind of like Superman, where
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
they literally have a lot riding on this because not only do they have Doomsday coming up next year or 2027, I forget which one it was.
Wild.
It was like
I think it's
it
next
got
year,
the
man.
yeah, it got hit with like a huge delay. So I don't know if it's like later in the fall or something, but either way, like, or no, I think they actually are filming it already. So excuse me. But this is all to say, like, this is Marvel's first like we got it back kind of franchise, right? Where it's like we got the license back. It's not like when they with Hulk, right? They've kind of always like, yeah, Universal made their Hulk movie, but then they had Mark Ruffalo and they kind of always got to pretend that it was their Hulk, right? And it's not like Deadpool, where like, oh, Deadpool, we officially have the Fox stuff and we got
Yeah.
to bring back Hugh Jackman, but it's still technically kind of like its own Fox thing, right? Like you can watch Deadpool 3 and then be like, oh yeah, it's still within the Fox universe. They even
Mhm.
have that little goodbye at the end of it, right? But
Yeah.
this is the first movie that's straight up like, okay, we're taking that old franchise that we got back, and now this is full Marvel. Like this
Yeah.
is it. And if they don't get it, and if they don't get the Fantastic Four, which is like it's literally Marvel's first group, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, like it's their
Marvel's
very
first
first,
family. Yeah, their first legit team. Yeah.
yeah, like their first little batch of characters, right? So like if they can't get the Fantastic Four, then unfortunately, for as much as you and I like the stuff seen in Brave New World and all that stuff and in Thunderbolts, the future really isn't going to matter if they can't get this right.
Yeah, especially now after DC Studios, a
Yeah.
Superman has done
Oh,
so
yeah.
well critically and in the box office. There's
1000%.
pressure. There is
Yeah.
pressure. Fahey was definitely feeling that pressure right now, man. I don't know how he's sleeping at night, especially after this past weekend.
Right.
Um, but folks, let me tell you, who wins here? The audience.
Yeah.
We do. We
Yeah.
win here because now DC Studios is back in the driver's seat, right? They're finally back in a vehicle that they can actually drive on the highway, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
driver's seat was undercutting it, right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah. So
underselling it. Yeah.
so they're back driving their own vehicle now, and they have control of their own destiny now, you know?
Yeah.
They have to I am kind of glad that they do have James Gunn under that umbrella because he understands how the Marvel machine works. So he can
Yeah.
definitely work counter to that because he knows he's like, hey, this is what they might be doing over here. Let's kind of
That's
just flip it around
yeah.
and do
Dan
something else, you know?
Arturo, I think you got it. That's why he's doing so many things about weirdos and so many like because it's like Marvel's gonna play it safe. Like
Yes.
Fantastic Four, yes, it's a big gamble, but it's also like that's their preeminent
That's
franchise, right? Like
Fantastic
that's
Four. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after this, it's X-Men. And it's like, oh, those are like the safest plays that Marvel could make, right? They're gonna do this, they're gonna do Avengers, they're gonna do a Spider-Man movie. Like, we're not getting Marvel's done like messing around and
Yeah.
experimenting and like
Yeah.
trying to like find the audience, right? They're like, no, you're getting you're getting Spider-Man, you're getting X-Men, you're getting Fantastic Four, you're getting Avengers, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And then while you're right, James Gunn's out here like, oh, well, you'll get a Superman, but you'll also get here's a Green Lantern show,
Mhm.
here's Peacemaker,
And he's a
here's
Supergirl movie.
yeah, here's a Supergirl movie. Here's a Metamorpho show. Here's a crypto special that we're doing just because there's money and we have animation budget,
Yes,
and it's like
right. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and like, oh man, I think you nailed it right on the head. And so Marvel has a lot on the first family. Like this is huge. Like
Yeah.
if this doesn't work, then like, what happens to I I just work like, yeah, I'm legit like, yo, what happens to
Yeah.
Marvel? Like,
What
because we
happens, right?
yeah,
Like,
because are we
if
gonna have are we gonna have a time where both companies get to have badass movies at the same time? Or are we gonna be back to the whole, well, at least we have DC, right? It's not gonna be like, well, DC sucks, but at least we have Marvel. But
yes,
it's gonna be the other way around, right?
exactly, exactly. We were in a very dark period there after, the whole, Snyder thing happened, and then the whole, Kang thing happened. We were like, "What's gonna happen with superheroes?"
Yeah,
But folks, DC is alive and well, and they're kicking hard. So Marvel better be ready, to punch back because we're in it for a fight, Tex. And like I
yeah.
said, the only people winning is us going to the movie theater, paying our money, seeing these movies in theaters where they're meant to be seen, you know? And if you haven't seen Superman this weekend, folks, go watch Superman. It is a straight up pay for it. When you're done watching it, go check out our full spoiler review over on the Morgue YouTube page. You can also find it under the Morgue movie review show. It's easier to tag it. It's easier to find that. You know exactly what we do here, folks. Go like, subscribe, and share. Go hit that bell to know exactly when these videos drop. We are dropping a coming attraction show every week for you guys to catch up on the latest and greatest entertainment news there is out there. And folks, remember, it's a scary world out there, but we are still here to walk you through it.